Hi, Charlie here. When news is being broadcast live on TV, there's no way to know what might happen. What starts out as a boring news report can soon turn into something scary or unexplainable. And sometimes things the public weren't supposed to see are accidentally broadcast to millions of people around the world. Light orb. This incredibly mysterious video was broadcast live on TV in Russia. A news reporter is delivering a fairly routine story, but that's when something incredibly mysterious happens behind her.
Красота подвергается все большей опасности. Только за последние 350 лет...
Олеська, смотри.
Ой, ничего себе! Что это? Вау! Блин!
A bright light can be seen in the sky and it's pointed out by her cameraman. The reporter seems incredibly shocked and says wow as the orb flies away into the sky. The light seems incredibly intense. You can see that it physically lights up the area around it. And to me, this suggests it's not an edited video. After all, this was broadcast live on Russian TV. And it's very hard to add special effects to a live video. After this was broadcast on live TV, Russian social media exploded with theories. Some speculated this was a real-life angel, and of course, some said this was a sign of alien life. But to this day, we still don't know what caused the light orb. There is a possibility this was a naturally occurring light source. But as of yet, this very mysterious broadcast is unexplained. Disappearing woman. You never expect to see someone vanish before your very eyes. But you especially don't expect anyone to be able to disappear live on TV news. But that's exactly what happened in 2016. The Danish TV station SportsCenter was interviewing a man at an airport. The interview is pretty boring, but it's what's happening behind the man that made headlines worldwide. Pay close attention to this blonde woman in the background. 1 second, she's there, and the next, she's not. The video was soon posted online and gained millions of views. It caused many to say that this was a glitch in the Matrix. How is it possible for a woman to simply vanish live on TV? Some speculate the woman simply walked away as the other woman with a trolley walked in front of her. But I find this very unlikely. She would have had to time it perfectly. And she's also taller than the woman in front of her. This means she would have had to walk at the exact same angle while crouching as well. To make things even more baffling, this was never followed up on. The disappearing woman never came forward, and to this day we still don't know if she's re-emerged. Suspect speed off. News reporters sometimes go to great lengths to get a scoop, and sometimes this involves putting themselves in danger. One day a CBS reporter is breaking a news story. He's talking about the discovery of 3 bodies, presumably in a very dangerous area. But that's when something creepy happens behind him live on TV. A car emerges down the empty dark street he's filming on, and the occupants are presumably watching the reporter.
That suspect yet either.
Yeah, still a lot of questions to be answered here, Jake, but Jake, are you okay?
That's when the car rapidly accelerates. Many theories sprung up saying that the driver was the person who committed the crime being reported on. He may have returned to the scene of the crime, and maybe he did this to interrupt the news report, or maybe scare the reporter into not reporting the story. But of course, what the driver did not know was that this was being broadcast live on TV. The reporter is very scared and runs off camera, and judging by his co-hosts' faces, they're scared for his life too. Lightning strike. One of the most dangerous jobs in news is being a weather reporter. That is one who actually goes into the field and reports live on scene. They often risk their lives to capture amazing or scary weather phenomena. One day this happened to a Fox reporter named Matt Rodewald. He's doing a report on flooding and lightning happening in the area. That's when various cars get stuck in a flash flood. If lightning was to strike this water, then the people would be electrocuted. That's when all of a sudden behind Matt is a gigantic lightning strike. The lightning was only a few meters away from Matt. And if this hit him, there's a good chance he would have not survived. Near miss. In California, a Fox News reporter is doing a regular broadcast on the side of a road. That's when one of the cars on the road loses control. The car approaches the reporter at a high speed.
And confusing situation for...
But luckily the reporter moves out of the way just in time. It's a good thing he's fast on his feet. If he'd noticed this car just seconds later, then he'd be done for. But luckily the reporter and cameraman both escaped unscathed. Helicopter hell. An ABC News helicopter is flying over Brooklyn. They're doing a normal report, but that's when something goes terribly wrong. The pilot loses control of the helicopter. The helicopter begins to spin around and rapidly descends. And eventually the helicopter crashes onto a rooftop. Amazingly, everyone survived. This has to be one of the luckiest moments ever caught on live news. Vanishing Pope. The Pope often does addresses from his window in the Vatican City. These are broadcast on TV to Catholics all over the world. But in April of 2020, one of these broadcasts made headlines for something strange occurring. After the Pope finishes his speech, he turns around to go back inside. But instead of walking away as normal, he appears to vanish into thin air. People slowed down the video and realized the Pope did seem to simply vanish. Some said this could have been edited, but this was being broadcast live. Theories quickly sprung up about this being a hologram and not the actual Pope. Others thought maybe he's more divine than everyone expected, and this was some kind of miracle. Some said that because this was during the pandemic, maybe he did not want to be out in public. So to make sure he was safe, they used a hologram instead. I find this unlikely, but how do you explain the Pope disappearing? Some called this a glitch in the Matrix. Zombie warning. Emergency broadcasts are always scary. They're normally used to warn about dangerous weather, or in some cases, potential missile launches. But one day, people watching KRTV were stunned, scared, and confused. This was after a very mysterious emergency message was played.
No one in North Central Africa.
Civil authorities in your area have reported that the bodies of the dead are rising from their graves and attacking the living. Follow the messages on screen that will be updated as information becomes available.
Thousands of people in Montana watching this heard the warning. Of course, a zombie warning does sound unlikely, but because it was on TV and it sounded very realistic, many believed it to be true. 911 was flooded with phone calls asking about a zombie outbreak. But of course, this was not real. Instead, the TV station said their broadcast system had been hacked. But 3 questions remain. Who did this? How did they do it? And why? Some believe the hacking excuse is a cover-up story and something really did happen. Just 3 years after this aired, a US Department of Defense document was leaked. It was called CONOP 8888, and it detailed how the US military would react to a zombie apocalypse. So, maybe they know something that we don't. Either way, this is still a very scary warning message to be broadcast live on TV. White House ghost. This news clip goes back a few years to when Obama was president, but despite it being slightly old, it still remains unexplained to this day. Obama and then Vice President Joe Biden are doing a press conference about Syria, but that's when in the window behind Obama a strange face can be seen. The creepy face appears to be cloaked in a black hood. The face looks slightly human, but there's something not quite right. Many said this could prove the White House is haunted. The face appears to be watching Barack Obama for most of the conference. Some theorized the face was simply a reflection of something happening on the White House lawn, but other people have enhanced this image and said that's not the case. After enhancements, it does appear like the image is coming from inside the glass. Actual reflections appear to be much more transparent, and they also move around a lot more while this face remains perfectly still. What do you think this is, a ghost or something else? This is not the first time people have said the White House is haunted. In 2009, Michelle Obama said that her and Barack would often hear strange noises in the White House, and they would often joke that the house was haunted. President Harry Truman and Prime Minister Winston Churchill are also said to have seen spectres inside the White House. So maybe this is one of the first actual sightings of a White House ghost caught on camera. Storm drain interview. Recently, a very creepy clip has been going around social media. The video shows a Channel 6 news reporter entering a storm drain. That's when she comes across a homeless man living inside the drain. She bravely goes up to him and asks, "Are there other people that live down here with you?"
Are there other people that live down here with you?
The man only replies with the words "Ratman" in a very scary voice. The guy is covered in dirt and it seems like he's been living in the sewers for some time. But although this scary news clip looks convincing, it's actually from a new movie called VHS 94. This has been shared on TikTok a lot and many believe it's a real news report. But I still thought I'd include it so I could clear it up. And although it is just a movie clip, it still is very creepy. But based off the other clips we've seen, I think it's safe to say that sometimes reality is scarier than fiction. But now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Comment below which was the scariest video caught live on TV news. If you want some more amazing videos, then check out my second channel. But as always, thanks for watching. There are some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.